Welcome everybody to our Unpop Review Entertainment. I don't know what you call these things out there. This time I've been here long enough to know these things, but we're doing Hulu movies. And we got finished watching Boss Level, one of Hulu's movies. Go check it out wherever podcasts and videos are sold, but you're absolutely free. You got YouTube. You know where to go find these things. We're not actually to go buy a TV dinner. The church actually for 10 and 15 and $20. We actually for a like, follow, and a subscribe, and maybe hit the notification icon so you know when we go live. But tonight, we are talking about Vacation Friends. And what's so great about this movie is You Can't See Me is in this movie, y'all. We'll be right back here to talk about Vacation Friends.
Why does the salt not taste salty?
Oh, because it's cocaine.
What? We actually brought it from home. Very, very easy if you ever want to try it. It's just a Ziploc and a full shampoo bottle.
And it's so much more comfortable than when I had it in my ass.
Everywhere they go,
Fuck you, baby big little bitch!
chaos happens.
This weekend is all about you. Well, I like the sound of that.
We do too.
Jesus.
Good evening, everyone.
What is he doing up there?
Marcus and I crossed paths in Mexico. Get to know each other intimately.
This is the best wedding I've ever been to.
Most potent magic mushroom on earth.
I ate it.
Why?
You told me to.
I didn't say eat it.
Man, everything you touch, turn into drugs.
And this time around, I ain't trying to get yelled at by the executive consultant, so I'm going to try my best as we have Mr. Little Rel in this movie. We got John Horacio Rodriguez Cena in this movie. And I never say her name right, but my girl from Insecure, Yvonne, is in this movie. King Batch is in the movie. My guy from The Wire, Robert Winston's in this movie. Listen, this movie, being a Hulu movie, I'd have never, ever crossed paths in this movie, but it has too many people that I like. I'm not normally a Little Rel guy, but I love John Cena. I think he's an underrated actor, and I support anything that anybody from Insecure and Issa Rae's camp does. I like both of Yvonne's HBO specials that she had. I suggest you go check those out. They're pretty funny as well. So when we came to doing Hulu movies, it was an easy pick for me because I don't watch Hulu movies. So actually, I think I beat Cena down there to the punch in the chat by about maybe 25, 30 minutes of picking this movie first. So I got to pick it. So enough of me. Look, this movie is simply about guys going on vacation, they're going on vacation, and just the shenanigans happen from there. You got drugs, you got sex, you got can you have my babies? You got just like, it's just your own vacation in Mexico. And one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in my life, which still makes no sense to me: who smuggles cocaine into Mexico? Jack, why not? It's Mexico. Like, what's wrong with you? So it's like not drinking the water. I thought this movie had a lot of good, a lot of bad, and we're going to talk about whether it was the good or the bad. We give our opinion about the movie from there. So as always, we like to do it. Ooh, ladies first, E-Boogie, your thoughts of Vacation
First and
Friends?
foremost, this is not a movie I was at all interested in. I saw the previews for it, and I had a very visceral response of like what? You know what I mean? Instead of the response that most would expect from a comedy like this. It was a little raunchy. The casting felt weird. But then when I watched the movie, there was something about the chemistry there. Lil Rel really does play this kind of awkward guy in social situations who doesn't know how to confront issues with someone that somebody might rub him the wrong way or say something that's off-putting to him. He doesn't confront them. He definitely skirts past them. He comes off as a pretty chill guy, but very conservative and reserved, which is the opposite of John Cena's character. I really liked how the vacation friend couple, the white couple, really pulled out the fearless, freaky, spontaneous nature of the main couple. I really, really liked Yvonne's character. I felt like she kind of was the straight man in the whole thing. She did have a couple. I mean, she had a couple moments where she kind of just went with whatever. I wish I have their names in front of me, but
no, she went with the flow. Emily.
She
is her
really,
character's name.
thank
Yeah.
you. Emily really went with the flow. She felt like somebody that I would hang out with. And honestly, the friend, Kayla, thank you.
Seema's wife, yeah.
Kayla with a black name and Emily with the white girl name. I love
And
it.
that's funny in itself.
I love it. I really liked their dynamic. I started to figure out, okay, they definitely had relations before that twist came about, but I really liked that. And Kayla came out to me as someone that I might hang out with too when I was younger. I just really liked everyone's chemistry with each other.
I don't know. You found me on the vacation like they were on the vacation. I might go ahead and have some shenanigans.
You know what I mean? Like they seemed so fearless. They helped the people get out of their bodies. Our main couple get out of their bodies. It helped them really enjoy being away from their normal lives back home, you know? And I loved that. I loved that they had a spontaneous wedding, that they encouraged them to do so. I loved the jump off the cliff. It just felt very freeing. They felt freed and unburdened from their home life, which is what a vacation is all about. Now, there is a point where Lil Rel says, I thought that what happens there could stay there. You know, and I think we all feel that when we have a wild ride with vacation, come back home. But this movie is essentially what happens when that isn't the case. And when your experiences abroad, follow you back home. There is some learning curve. There is some growth that happens with our couple. I appreciated that. I love the depth of this wild and crazy couple, Kayla and John Cena's character. I love that John Cena's character was like an onion. He just kept having more and more layers come out of why he's he's a nutbag, but he's like also a well-rounded guy that I would love to have in my friend circle. I don't know. They were crazy as hell, but it's like you need that one friend like that gets you out of your comfort zone and gets you to be brave. And I turns out this was kind of interesting. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I'm glad I didn't miss it because I definitely would have. We're not for this episode.
Consultant, hey, ho, ho. Let's see what you think, sir.
Best character in this movie was the hotel manager.
I knew you were going to say that.
He was comedy to me the entire time. Short-lived.
How you pronounce his name? Marillo? I know the
Funny.
actor's name.
Funny. That's how I pronounce his name. He was comedic to me.
Best Western joke was a hit. I'm not gonna lie.
Best character in this movie. The worst character in this movie was absolutely no one. This movie was hilarious. I laughed from beginning to the end. From beginning to the end. I could watch this movie all the time. This might have been John Cena's best movie, and that's saying a lot for me because I really like the what's in the Marine? What was it?
Bumblebee?
No, 90 seconds or something like that. 60 seconds. 8 rounds.
I know what about the one with they went to the bus. It was like kind of like a speed thing. Yeah.
Right. It was 12 rounds. I thought that was his best one, but this is his best movie. This movie hit it on all cylinders for me from beginning to end. I dare say I love this movie so much. It might have been my favorite movie from last year. That's what I would say if I was
waiting for the plug to get pulled.
Right.
Oh, I'm dead ass serious. This was one of my favorite movies. I'm gonna hit a mic. This is one of the greatest movies of all time. Like, I absolutely love this movie. Right? I seriously did. I have nothing else to say about it. I love this movie from beginning to end. Every scene, every punchline, every joke, from beginning to end.
Had you watched this before I suggested it?
No, this was the first time I've seen it. I heard about it. I was like, yeah, I like the actors and actresses in it, but I wasn't that interested to really watch it on my own. And then somebody said, I was like, okay, I don't mind it. I don't hate it. It's not Police Academy. I don't hate it, you know. So I'm gonna watch it, and I watched it, and I laughed. I watched this movie. I was out of town somewhere, I'm sure, and I watched this movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
All right.
Great. And here's a fun fact: this movie's concept actually was 20 years ago almost. Were penciled in with Nicolas Cage and Will Smith actually. So they were actually supposed to play the characters of Little Rel and John Cena. But I'm glad it came out this year, and I'm glad it came out with these two characters. And glad to see John Cena, who's played characters like this a few times now. But because he played that Boy Scout character in wrestling for all those years, it's interesting to see him play this kind of character. It was hilarious. Like I can't speak how much I love this movie. I
thought
really
this was
did.
Peacemaker all over again. Ron was, in a sense, he was like Peacemaker in here a little bit. But
This movie was so much better than Top Gun.
What?
You know what? I don't want this to be the time, but I am going to say this.
I need you to take some Advil.
You make my butt itch.
You might want to wipe.
No, you work my last nerve.
You know what? I've never heard
something
anybody getting an STD
just-
without actually having sex. You might want to see a doctor. And
STD in your butt, try again. Anyway, look.
Cena, can you please take over this portion?
Yes,
of the show and give us
please.
Your
My nerves.
your thoughts, man. Butt itching and everything.
Nerves.
it was also better than Avatar too.
Well, you know what? The hustle, loyalty, respect.
That's all it's about.
Because this guy is amazing. Like this guy, he's got a lot of range. He's got a lot of humor. He's literally, I mean, look, I wasn't necessarily a fan, but this guy's got incredible mic skills. That's what wrestling is all about. And now he's taken it to the point of going to do movies. And I respect this whole situation. Now, I think this movie is very similar to the one that Kevin Hart and The Rock did, where their dynamic was very similar, where one of them is basically a guy that is basically a big Boy Scout. Because here's the thing, like John Cena comes across in this movie as some kind of drug dealer in the beginning of the movie.
Kind of does.
As some kind of like person that's into like incredibly bad things. But look, as you go further into the movie, he's doing something that I would do. The guy knows about moss and mushrooms and what's in the forest. That resonated with me a lot because, mind you, look, I can sit here and talk to you about 16 different types of pine that are around me, but I am one of the only people here that know that. You know what I'm saying? Like that, just that kind of stuff. Like the kind of guy that knows what's out there, what's edible, what's this, what's that. It's very weird. Very weird, especially in an urban setting. I mean, you're talking to two people from Chicago. They're not paying attention to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like people from Chicago don't run around and look at all the oak that's going around. You feel what I'm saying? So like that whole dynamic was very interesting because their lifestyles are very different. So John Cena as a character like that could just come across as very weird. But as you open the layers of the onion, you see that, you know, his he was like a Boy Scout, and look how he resonated with the father, with the whole chip, and he was all like, "Oh, I haven't been coined in years," and then he pulls out this coin, and they're like, oh, "How the hell did this?" You know what I mean? So like, just that whole dynamic within this was cool because you go in thinking that he's one person and then another, and then the last thing was when the grandmother got those herbs.
Yeah.
Molly, I can't stop calling her Molly. You know, shout out to.
I'm always gonna call her Molly.
But Molly got all mad about her grandmother eating the pills, and then grandma came back later like, "Child, those pills was great," and blah blah blah. And mind you, like you look at them like they're crazy hippies and have these crazy intentions, but in the end, they just turned out to be very sweet. And then look what ended up happening in the end. So like one thing that I got from this movie is, more than anything, don't judge a book by its cover. Because in the beginning of the movie, Cena and Kayla, they come across as one way, and then in the end, they come across as a completely different way. Like once you actually understand where they're coming from. And mind you, when she mentioned in the beginning of the movie the whole thing about like the drugs and the drugs and the pills and the benefits, Molly thought she was talking about things, illegal things, and she wasn't. She was talking about herbs and bad milk. You know what I mean? And mind you, there's a lot of science to that. Like there is a lot of science into making milk and making sure that it's right for consumption because you cannot, you know what I mean? But that kind of science the public doesn't necessarily know. So all of that is why I found this interesting.
Well, with that, we're going to take our first break and go pay some money, which is our sweat equity and the things that Chris and guys around here put together for you guys to see what's coming up next. So, Chris, what we got coming up next after we do Vacation Friends this month?
You should sell my pot at your party.
You think I'm just gonna walk into a party and everyone's gonna want to buy pot for me?
Call me crazy.
Fuck yeah, Mo. Got a home run.
Who's gonna drink it?
Hold on, what's in that?
Whiskey, beer, cough syrup, and Zanny bar.
Oh, damn. That's my dude. Kids are supposed to make mistakes. That's what the whole point of being a kid is.
Who does your hair? No one? Me? Aren't you tired of it? All the stares you get. This came all the way from India? Forget about where it's from. Let's focus on where it's going. You're not tender-headed, are you? I'll be fine. The moss-haired girl. She see trees covered in black moss and made herself a wig. Maybe the hair in the tree was enchanted.
It's fun to think about.
Look, I cannot die today, okay? I've been in church for like 15 years. Hey, girl.
Thrust us ahead, Mr. Sulu. Take us out. I hope we got this one off to a good start. I hope so, too.
Oh, my brothers and sisters, y'all better get ready to testify because we got some bangers coming out. Listen, one of the biggest motion pictures of all time, Star Trek. We got the series coming out. It's the executive consultant pick. He's a big, huge fan of that franchise. I had 2 TVs in my house, and my uncles watched Andy Griffin and Star Trek. I became a soap opera fan, guy. Enough said with that, but we're going to watch Star Trek nonetheless, and we're going to tell you how I feel about it. But tonight, we are watching Vacation Friends, and we're going to give our final thoughts and thumbs up or thumbs down. And Chris, you said some things that were interesting in this thing to me, and that was, it was funny. E-Book said things to me. This is something that I didn't think I would watch, and you looked at the cast. I'm not a big Little Rel guy. I didn't think that Yavanna, Emily's character, matched with, what I knew John Cena's comedy and what it was going to be. But I always tell people, I hated when the concept of cut the cord was around, right? Everybody says, cut the cord, cut the cord, cut the cord. You will always need cable, no matter what, to watch certain things. But if you're going to have all these apps, Hulu, Disney Plus, you got to have content creation. That's the whole thing. You just can't sit there and want reruns and on-demand things all the time. You got to have content. We are all craving content. And Hulu put this out. And so when I saw it, I said, well, hell, I paid for Hulu. Might as well watch it. It has John Cena in it. And I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I think it's one of Little Rel's best movies I've ever liked him. I don't think I didn't like him in Uncle Drew. I ain't like the Little Rel Show. I just never really think he's funny. Even in Insecure, I was like, huh? In a little stint that he had in there. I just was never the biggest fan of him. But in this movie, I think it worked perfectly. Would you say, Vic, and Vic has his part to say as well, everything is not always what it seems. So when you look at John Cena one way and how they were out there, you're right, E-Boogie. It's supposed to stay on the island. And it all came back. But it coming back saved this guy. You know what I mean? And helped him get by. And any movie that has Lynn Whitfield in it, come on. There it is right there. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Lynn Whitfield's in it. Okay. and John Cena, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Listen, I can't wait till another John Cena movie because the question is, John Cena, The Rock, or Batista? Who's a better actor? My answer is, who cares? I love all their movies. Thumbs up to Vacation Friends. E-Boogie, your thoughts and final thoughts.
I'm going to say Bautista on that one. But alas, this movie was quite surprisingly entertaining to me. It had a lot of heart. It had a lot of really, truly funny, like surprising, shocking moments. My favorite part, though, that really to me demonstrated the dynamic of their new friendship,
Seems to be a hunting
whatever,
trip on the
is the hunting trip.
Yes.
Because when Lil Rel was hallucinating,
Tripping balls, as they say.
the balls that a fox was attacking him, and he was finna go in. He grabbed the knife. He was finna go in on Mr. Henderson or whatever that dog's name was. That was clearly a beloved family pet from his soon-to-be father-in-law, and his friend stopped him. And I really appreciated that. To me, that showed just how much heart this movie had. And it was like a low-key big deal. It was a big deal scene. And he really came through, John Cena's character. And I appreciated that. And outside of that, this movie was very funny. There was like a kind of backstory that Lil Rel might have fathered Kayla's baby, which was funny. Him confessing to this thing he didn't do was funny. This was good. Surprisingly, very, very good. It's a thumbs up for me.
Hey, the executive consultant. Now, he's done this to us in the past where he's, said one thing and gave it a down. He's had a lot of good ups about this, but would it be finalized with a thumbs up? Executive consultant.
I love this movie. This movie was great from beginning to end. And when I watch this movie and I see and hear what E Boogie is saying, when I watch this movie and I see and hear what Mike Knox is saying, and I say these two because they made some relevant points. Not Cena. I don't know what he was talking about. He was talking about some plants, and I don't know what he was talking about. But when I'm watching and I'm hearing what they're saying, and they say it should have stayed there. It should have stayed there. That's very relevant to me. Because as a man that's always on vacation, this is how I feel.
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
I never understood how Gomez played Bison from Street Fighter.
That's how I felt.
You're the worst.
They had a vacation. They were living the time of their lives. Oh, somebody else died. They were living the time of their lives. But I do that every weekend. That's what I do. I do that every Tuesday. I do that every Wednesday. I do that every Thursday. I'll probably go and get drunk someplace immediately after this show. Because that's what I do. So when I watch this movie and realize how much I enjoy it, it gets a thumbs up. It gets a thumbs up from me.
All right.
Much better than the Batman.
Oh, wow. Cena, your thoughts and thumbs up, thumbs down. We know.
Well, more than anything, what resonated with me from this movie was the name of the movie, number one, because vacation friends is something that does happen. Every single place that me and my fiance have traveled, we've met another couple, not necessarily as crazy, but that were a lot of fun. It happened in Cuba, it happened in Paris, it happened in London, it happened in Puerto Rico, it happened in LA, it happened in Mexico, it happened just about every single place that we've gone to. But what's the difference? Is that it actually stayed at the location that became Facebook friends. But the reality of the situation is that, look, you have great, like, you know what I mean? But the reality is just that a lot of times.
Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying.
Where's that?
Stop lying.
I haven't seen those people since we went on vacation.
Excuse me. You went to DC and you met.
DC doesn't count.
You met a beautiful, most handsome man in the world, known as the executive consultant, who took you to the club that night. Who took you to the club that night, and every time we go to New York, I see you since.
Ready, knew you.
You never seen the greatness in person.
Yes, I had. I met you here, dumbass. What you talking about?
Yeah, but you know, I didn't know you. Like that. To me, it was Tuesday. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
So rudely interrupted, right? I resonated with it.
I'm Groot.
That kind of hit. I am Groot. That's right. I resonated with it for that other reason too, because I am Groot, and like lots of resonating in this movie. Yes. That's why I'm wearing a Cena shirt. Hater. All right. Executive hater. So shoe fly with all your hatiness because this movie gets a thumbs up. And now, since you keep telling me to shut up, I'm shutting up now, and I give it the thumbs up. So now you can shoot fly with all your hateries. Where is the damn rain cloud? Is this anyway?
No, it's gonna be in my
Yeah, it's gonna be in your box. Yeah,
I know, that's why I am.
A little fun fact here: I don't think I've picked a movie that all 4 got thumbs up for.
Oh wow!
So the fact that all 4 got thumbs up, the fact that the executive consultant gave this a thumbs up, I think it's the most shocking part. But that just tells you, although a lot of times I be wrong, I was right this time in picking a funny movie. Of course, I've seen it. It was funny. I don't watch many Hulu movies. I was even saying between takes, like we should have did some other Hulu like television series and things like that. Again, I said I love Netflix TV shows, hate their movies, and I'm kind of same with Hulu. So it was pretty cool to do this. But catch us next time. See what we got coming up next. We already showed y'all. We got all kind of things coming down the pipeline. Get ready to watch some entertainment movies, TVs, and Star Trek, y'all. We are out of here. I am Mike Knox. That is E Boogie. That is Cena. You can see him though. That is executive consultant, and we are out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Fingers.